Hey guys, my name is Kamran Waziir, and in this video we're going to talk about how to do these VFX using only Blender. So we're going to start off with motion tracking. I converted the video into PNG Sequence. I'll put the link in the description to the same PNG Sequence that I'm using for this video, so you can also use it. Let me just select all of the PNG Sequence by hitting A and click Open Clip, and you will be able to see the PNG Sequence there. So the first setting is in render. Go to render setting, under color management, change the view transform to standard. And now click set scene frame to set the frames, and click prefetch to load the, maybe for now I'm going to set the ending frame to 200, and I'm going to click prefetch to load the video into the RAM. Okay. So I can just leave everything. First of all, I'm going to go to annotation, click draw, and I will draw around this area. So I'm going to click draw, and I will draw around this area, which is this road area, which I don't want to motion track. So again, I'm going to go into track. I'm going to click detect features, and under detect features, I'm going to click outside annotated area, and it will only add trackers outside this area. So this is what we wanted. I'm going to make the threshold to 0 and the distance to 58. And now I can motion track forward. Just click the forward button to motion track the video. And now we can again click detect features, and I'm going to track backward, so we get so many features. Okay, so I can add some of them in the middle of the video. So maybe I don't wanna, but I'm gonna expand this video window, and I'm gonna delete all of those that are out of the line. So I'm just gonna select them and hit X and delete them. Okay, just select them, delete, select, delete, and just do the same process again and again. Okay. Let's just delete it. So again, we can now go into solve, and we have different options. You just need to set the keyframe A and keyframe B, which determines the perspective change between those frames. So I'm gonna set to 23 and 74, and I'm gonna turn on focal length and other options because I really don't know what's the camera focal length. So I'm gonna turn them on, and I'm gonna click solve camera motion, and now it will solve. Right now we got 0.71, but it have this yellow error. So under cleanup, I'm gonna click filter track, and I'm gonna expand the threshold. I'm gonna make it 8. I'm gonna hit X and delete it, and again solve camera motion to solve the camera. So we got an error of 0.52. You just need to click clean track again because we want to make it a more of a 0.4 or something. I'm gonna click solve camera motion, and we got 0.45. Again, we can click clean tracks. I'm gonna play around with the threshold value and select them and X delete them. Okay, so I'm gonna hit Control Z. I think the previous one was good. Maybe Control Z. 0.45 was better, and I think that is fine. So under scene setup, I'm gonna click setup tracking scene. And what I'm gonna do under render, everything is fine. Resolution is exactly what's the footage is about. Try to match it to the footage. Okay, so right now for what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select 3 of the trackers, and I'm gonna click floor to add these as a floor. Maybe I can select another one. Maybe I can do it for this one until we get something perfect, until we get something aligned to the ground. I'm gonna select this one, click floor. Maybe I think I can change. I'm gonna select one of it, and I'm gonna hit set x-axis. Maybe I can select this one, set x-axis, and I think it's totally fine. If you play it, it's perfectly doing a thing. And I'm gonna click plus, go to general, go to layout, go into camera view, turn on motion tracker from overlays so you can see what is going on in the 3D scene. Okay, so now if you just increase the scale of the motion tracker, you will be able to see them. I'm gonna go into camera view. I cannot see the trackers that are away from the camera, but right now, if I just zoom in and try to see that if tracker is perfect or not, I'm just gonna put my cube there, and I think it's totally fine. It's 100% perfect. So if you play it, as you can see, it's doing its job, and this is what we wanted. This is fairly easy to do, and there was no huge steps. So we cannot see those trackers. I'm going to select the camera, go into camera settings, and I'm going to set the ending clipping to 10,000. You will be able to see those trackers that are away from the camera because they're really away from the camera when I recorded the footage. So I'm going to select this one, Shift A is cursor to selected. I'm going to click Shift A. I'm going to add a plane there. So there is an add-on called copy attribute menu. So when you select 2 objects, I'm going to go into edit preferences. I'm going to go into add-on, search for copy attributes add-on. Just turn this on and it will give you some more option. When you select the first plan object, then the empty control C, you will be able to copy the rotation just very easily by selecting it. I'm just going to try to rotate it to fix the rotation so it fits this area. So it's aligned the area. Okay, I'm just gonna move it like that. Scale it. Maybe I can move it, and maybe I can just try to align it. Okay, I'm trying to move it like that. I'm gonna rotate it on z-axis, something like this. Maybe I can move it downward a bit. I can rotate it just a bit. Just try to align it with the billboard in the background, because alignment is important. It must be the same as the background. If it's not aligned well, it's not going to move perfectly, so you will get so many options. You get so many problems there. So let me just move this up and see what we get here. I'm going to move this one to here in edit mode. I'm going to select this vertex in edit mode. I'm going to move it towards z-axis, but right now it's y-axis because we are in local view. Okay, so I'm gonna move it upward just a bit so we can see it. Okay, so I think it's doing a thing. Yeah, it's perfectly staying there, and this is what we wanted. Yeah, there's nothing bad going on, so I'm gonna save the file because you have to save your progress. It's really important in this process, because if you don't save your file, you're gonna lose it. I'm just gonna call it something like track, and I'm gonna hit save blender file to save it. I'm gonna expand this area. Okay, so I'm gonna select it and I'm gonna go into here, and I'm gonna go into edit mode. Okay, so I extruded this, and maybe I can grab it forward like that, just a bit, not so much, and I think it's totally fine. Now we can add stuff into it. I'm gonna turn on the plan. Okay, so in fact I duplicated the plan twice a time, so I'm gonna select the forward plan. I'm gonna subdivide it many times so we get enough geometry. I'm gonna select the top edges like that. Under vertex group, just click and click assign. Go into object mode, go under physics, click cloth simulation. Go under shape. In pin group, select the pin group that you just created for vertex. And under collision, just click self collision. And now if you play it, it's now working. I think I need to go into cache and reset the value. And let's just add a force field, which is going to be a wind. Let me just scale it up, try to rotate it on the other direction, something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna rotate it like that. I'm gonna increase the strength a bit. And okay, so in material view it's not really working, but in solid mode it's gonna work. And right now the strength is not very high for the wind, so I'm gonna make the strength to a very high number, like 100, and it's going to wave it. So this is what we wanted. Okay, so in the future we're gonna add some cool looking animations into it so it feels real. Okay, so I'm gonna make the simulation start to something like, maybe we can change it, but I'm gonna set the simulation start to 90, because I don't really know. I think 74 maybe. You just need to type in, because I'm just recording right now. I'm not gonna trim anything. I'm just gonna go for okay, so I'm gonna set the starting to 60, and if you play it, as you can see, it's doing a thing. And yeah, I'm gonna save the file. Okay, so now what we can do, we want that the cloth falls when the timeline is moved, because I don't want it to be staying there, so I just want to add product behind it. So how to do it? Well, I want the cloth to fall. So for this I'm going to add a modifier. It is going to be a vertex wet, edit, move it before cloth, and select the group here. Just click group remove here. So let's try it. If I move into frame number 120, on this I'm gonna add a keyframe. and on 140 I want the threshold value to be 1, which means that on frame number 120 the width will be 100%, but on frame number 140 the width is going to lose and the cloth is going to fall. So this is how it works. So it's very easy, I think. I'm gonna move it just slightly, something like that, and if I play it again, now on frame number 90 it's going to start falling down and it's going to lose the width from the vertex group. Okay, so let's see what we can do with it. Under physics, I'm gonna set the simulation start to 235 and I'm gonna replay it. I'm gonna set the keyframe to something like that. So when it plays, it moves like that, but it starts falling eventually and it falls into there. And it looks nice, I think. I'm gonna pause the video. Okay, I'm gonna select this one. I'm gonna hit Shift A, cursor to select it. I'm gonna add a cube. I want to add a collision object down there on this building underneath, so the cloth falls into it. So in order to do it, I added a cube here, for example, and I moved it like that. If I go into camera mode view and I go up here, I'm just gonna move it downward like that. I'm gonna slightly rotate it towards on a z-axis, and I can slightly align it with the building. I'm gonna go into edit mode. In extra mode, I'm gonna select this A face maybe, and I can move it towards y-axis like that, so we can make the CG double of this building. I'm gonna select the other building. Maybe I can add a loop cut. I'm not gonna add a loop cut. I'm just gonna select the other face and I'm gonna move it towards here. I'm gonna save it, slightly gonna rotate it, slightly gonna move it towards here so it fits the building here. And in edit mode, I'm gonna select this edge, slightly move it down like that so it fits there. I'm gonna select this vertex, maybe this edge, and I can move it just a bit. I'm gonna go into edit. In face selection, I'm gonna move it down so it fits here. In edge selection, I'm gonna select it, hit Control B. But I think I'm gonna abort these because I want to apply the scale by hitting Control A, then Control B in edit mode to add some bevels into it. Okay, so I'm gonna add a new material, which is going to be a holdout material because I don't want to see it in render. So I'm gonna add collision into it in physics, so it's interact, so the clouds interact with it. If you play our animation, let's see what we get here. Okay, so it's now working. It's because our cube is way behind the cloth, but it's supposed to be in front, so I'm gonna move it to front like that. I'm gonna go into camera view. I'm gonna go into wireframe. I'm gonna move it towards here, something like that. And if I go into camera view, I'm gonna slightly move it down so it fits there. Slightly scale it down like that so it's just do its job for me. Now if you play our simulation, I'm gonna slightly rotate it so it fits the area. Try to be accurate with this because it's going to make some problem if you are not accurate with it. Okay, so in edit mode, I'm gonna select this edge, slightly move it down. I'm edit mode, I'm gonna slightly move it down also. I'm gonna go into first frame and I'm gonna play the simulation and let's see if it's interact or not. Okay, so the cloth is moving very fast and the animation ends. So for that, I'm gonna slightly rotate it on x-axis, the wind, and I'm gonna rotate it towards the box. So if you now play it, it's going to fall on the box, but maybe it will be faster a bit. Let's just see what we get here. Okay, so now it's interacting with it, but there is some problem that we can fix. And okay, so first of all, I'm gonna shed smooth the cloth in material view. If I play it, yeah, as you can see, it's perfectly staying there, and this is what we wanted. So under cloth settings, I'm gonna make the simulation start to 0, and now if you play it, it's going to work for some time, then it's eventually going to fall down. And I'm gonna move this keyframe a bit forward so it starts falling down in the start of the animation. Okay, so let's see. So now it's falling down, and if you look at these, as you can see, it's staying up there, but I think it's sliding a bit. So in order to fix it, we can increase the collision of the friction of the collision object down there. So if we select it, and if we just look at these, we can see that it's sliding a bit. Okay. So under cloth, I'm gonna increase the damping and also the friction to 10. So now if you play it, it's going to stay there, like it's going to have more friction than before, and that will be the reason that it will be staying there. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. I think that looks fine. Okay, I think we can select the cloth and go into edit. From the camera view, click hue and project from view. Now we can add an image texture. I'm gonna open up a new window here. I'm gonna change it to shader editor. I'm gonna hit N to close the window, click new, and I'm gonna add and Shift A. I'm gonna add a new texture. I'm gonna connect it to base color. In my PNG sequence, I'm gonna select the first PNG. And as you can see, it's edited there. So if I go into UV editor and go into edit mode, I'm going to select everything and I can scale it down so it fits there. I'm going to slightly scale it up like that, and okay. Let's zoom in to see if it's perfectly staying there or not, and I think it's fine. And yeah, this is really looking really good, and we can play it. We can see it's waving there, and then it falls down eventually, and it stays there. Okay. Fine. Control S and save the file. Okay. So we want to have some models, but I think I found a fun model. And let's see what we can do with it. So thanks to Oleg Gonor Isager, I don't know how to pronounce it, but thanks to him for the free model. It's really good. I'm gonna go to file, import, and I'm gonna import the FBX file. I will put the link to the same file in the description down below if you want. Okay, so I'm just gonna set the origin to center of mass, and I'm gonna scale it up. This is the phone, and I can just clear the parents by hitting Alt P. Okay, I'm gonna align it to that area. And I think I need to rotate it on landscape. I don't have any idea right now, but I think when the tutorial finish, I will have something good, but I think I can apply the rotation maybe. Okay, so I think this is the perfect position for it. I just rotated it the way it is. And I'm gonna select it, go into edit mode and face selection. I'm gonna select its screen. And I'm gonna select screen X and delete those faces, and now we got its empty area. Select this area and hit X to delete it also this part is remaining, deleted by hitting X. Okay, so we got this one. So in edit mode, I'm gonna select the back side. Maybe I can select and hit Control to select in between. Let's move it backward. Something like that. Yeah, just a bit, not so much. Okay, so in object mode, I'm gonna select this one, the forward object. I'm gonna go into edit mode. In front of it, I'm gonna hit K, or maybe I can hit I to insert it. I will try to scale it on a y-axis and then x-axis like that. I'm just trying to make a hole inside it. X, delete this face, and now we have something that is called the hole. You can just improve it if you want, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to select the phone model. I'm going to go into edit mode. I can add a new loop cut here, Control R, and add a new loop cut just right here. And this area is not connecting, so I'm going to hit K and I'm going to connect it manually. So now it's time to select it. Hit Alt E. I think Control Z. I think I just need to select this one. Hit E and then click S to scale it up. Something like that. I'm gonna select the outer sides. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry for that. Control Z. Okay, so again, I'm gonna select it. Sorry for any. Okay, so I'm gonna go into material. I'm gonna hit a new material, assign it, click new again, add a holdout material to it. So we can't see what's going on in the background. I added an image texture to the background billboard, but I think I didn't like it. I'm gonna go into cycles, change the device to GPU, turn on denoise, and go into world setting, click open and open up an HDRI. I will put the link to the same HDRI in the description if you want. Okay, so right now go into render, go into film right there, click transparent. Okay, so hit Ctrl S and save the file. Now select the foreground object and go into object, and you can just click. Okay, so let's go to solid. I'm gonna click back for the cloth so we have this stored in with us so it's not lost, and the timeline will play smoothly. Okay, in shadow editor I can play around with specularity. I'm gonna decrease the specularity to 0 and roughness to 1. And I think we have excessive, we need to decrease the strength of the world so it fits the environment. If we select the camera, go into camera settings, under background image, we can increase the opacity of the video. And I think it is very bright, so in world setting, I'm gonna increase the strength to a higher value so it fits the environment color. Something like that. I can slightly rotate it if I want. Yeah, now it's good. Okay, so in object settings, in material, I'm gonna remove the holdout from this down object, and in object settings, under visibility, I'm gonna click shadow catcher, so the cloth can cast shadows on this building. I'm gonna hit Ctrl S and save the file. Okay. I'm gonna turn on scene lights and scene world. I'm gonna play it again and see how this feels like. So right now in material view you will see some sliding, but it's because we are in material view and it's not playing at once. Like it's playing the video, then the CGI shot. That is why it is not matching and it is making some hosting effect. And don't worry about it, when you render it, it's going to be perfect. Let's save the file. Okay, so let's go into Mixamo and find some characters and some animations. I get into mixamo.com, sign in with your account, and you will get there. So I found that model, I loved it, and I found this animation, which is house dancing. I think, yeah, I'm gonna download it, and I'm gonna click download to download the model with animation. Now it's time to import that animation into Blender, so I'm gonna go ahead and import it. Just click it and import it. That's it. Now it's time to set this into there. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in a bit and I'm gonna select the armature and I'm going to scale it up. Selection to cursor and scale it up. Maybe I can scale it down because it's bigger than the billboard and we don't want it to be. You can also dance this character over there on the building. That is in fact a shadow catcher. But right now I'm gonna set this set this character into there. Inside the phone, he's dancing. I'm gonna add some text into it, like called Oppo or something, because it's an Oppo advertisement. Okay, so I'm gonna slightly scale it down so it fits there. Slightly move it down like that. I'm gonna go into camera view. I can go into render. Okay, so I think it's going well and I liked it. Let's add a light, a point light, if we can light up the scene a bit. I'm gonna increase the power to something like very high. Maybe I can go for a crazy number of strength. Maybe I can make it 444 maybe. Okay, I can just bring it near to it. I'm gonna get into render. And right now, if we just increase the power to 2000, it's gonna look like that. We can move it up, we can move it towards y-axis, we can just do whatever we want to do with it. Okay. So you can add some lights into it to make it feel like 3D. But right now I'm gonna add a cylinder object. I'm gonna add it a new material. I'm gonna change the material to emission. And I can just select this one and increase the emission strength to 1000. I'm gonna make it 500. I think I'm gonna make it 100. I think it's fine. And okay, just slightly move it down. Let's make the strength to 30, and I think it's doing good. Okay, so let's duplicate the same light into the other area if you want. Hit shift A and move it towards here. Go into camera view. Maybe we can bring it so we can see it in camera view. Okay, hit Control S and let's see. Let's see what we get here. Okay. And compositing, I think we got so much going on, but before we do compositing, if you look at here, you got a background layer. Just select everything in it and hit X and delete it. And then we have two layers. I'm gonna select the background layer and I'm gonna delete it also. So now we just got foreground. In compositing, we got a bunch of nodes which don't really work for us. I'm gonna select them and I hit X and delete them just by lefting those two. I'm gonna add an input which is a movie clip. Again, input scene, and it's going to be a render layer. Shift A, add a color mix, and it's going to be an alpha over. Connect the image to the top socket and the render layer to the bottom. So connect the composite and the image also. Let's save the file. First we're gonna set the mix samples to 20. Maybe we can just make it 40 for now. And in output you can set up the render to FFmpeg and set the location if you want. Now if you render the image or animation, it is going to work for us. Let's just render an image and see what we get here. Okay, so it's rendering right now, and if you look at this, it is perfectly composited into the footage. Maybe we can play around with different values, but I think right now it's okay. And I can now add a filter, which is going to be a glare node to the render layer. So we can add some glow into the light and change it to fog glow. I'm gonna make, okay, so right now I'm going to add, maybe I can add some sort of lens distortion into it because we want to make it real. So in view, you can zoom in, zoom out, and okay, so Shift A, I'm gonna add, search for lens distortion. I'm gonna add it here, and I think it's not doing a thing. I'm gonna add it after everything. I'm gonna increase the dispersion to 0.100 and I'm gonna make it 0.01, and it's going to add a subtle amount of dispersion, or you can also call it lens distortion. And I think if we connect the image with composite, I'm gonna add an adjust, and I can add a brightness and contrast node in between. Zoom in a bit and try to decrease the contrast so it fits the video. Something like these, yeah, That is fine. And okay, Control S and save the file. And I think that's it. I'll see you in the next one.